Strength coaches, how do you program to make sure that you include all of the important exercises and leave nothing out? My name's Andrew. I've been a strength coach for over 13 years, and at the beginning of my career, I really struggled to prioritize important exercises, not important exercises, make sure that you hit all the muscle groups, don't leave anything out, don't overdo or fry any muscles. So I'm gonna break it down for you today and show you exactly the system that I use, that I've used for over 10,000 sessions with over 350 Division I and professional athletes, that works like a charm. So the first thing I do is break it down into the 5 basic movement patterns. If you don't know what the 5 basic movement patterns are, that's okay. I was mad when I first learned about them because I'd finished my undergrad degree and I was like, what? You can break exercises down into 5 categories? I'd never heard of it. I was mind blown. I was also mad at my teachers and coaches. I was like, this should be day one, what you learn. So if you never heard of it, you're not wrong. It's okay, but it should be common information. So I'm here to relay it to you. So there's 5 basic movement patterns. Number 1, lower extremity push. So these are your things like squats and step ups. Number 2 is lower extremity pull. So these are your deadlifts, your hinges, your RDLs, and your single leg RDLs. Number 3 is your upper extremity push. This is your bench press, your overhead press, anything pressing with the upper body. Number 4, this is anything with scapular traction. This is upper extremity pull. So you've got TRX rows, dumbbell rows, barbell rows, cable rows, any kind of rowing with the upper body. That's an upper extremity pull. And then number 5 is core strength. I call it spinal integrity because the idea is that you're building stability and integrity with the spine. I'm not a big fan of crunches, twists, anything to do with bending the spine. We want to stabilize the spine, build really high integrity so athletes can develop more power fast. So those are the 5 basic movement patterns. If you've never heard of them, it's okay, but let's relay this out there to everyone. These are the 5 basic movement patterns. If you know them, your life gets a lot simpler because you just are gonna hit one of each one. And so the way that I break it down, very simply, A1 for me, the first lift of the day, is always lower extremity push. Sometimes it's bilateral, sometimes it's unilateral, meaning sometimes it's a squat and sometimes it's a step up. But those are the 2 exercises I always use for A1, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, doesn't matter. They're gonna hit A1 several times throughout the week and it's always lower extremity push. A2 is always gonna be upper extremity pull. For me, I start with a gentle scapular traction face down on a massage table, on a yoga mat, whatever, and then I'll graduate them to TRX rows, dumbbell rows, barbell rows, any other sort of rowing. But A2 is always upper extremity pull. And then A3 is going to be a spinal integrity exercise. I usually start with A3 as something prone, meaning they're face down. So this is usually quadruped or hip hike shoulder tap. I think it's important early on in the workout to start to stabilize the low back, stabilize the pelvis so that they have that stability. Those muscles are turned on, activated for the entire workout. So starting with those, ideally you'd have them in the warm up as well, but you really want to hit this home, building pelvic stability with hip disassociation. And then, so that's A1, 2, and 3, and then I go to the B block. So the B block is always gonna be lower extremity pull. So this is your hinge, your deadlift, your RDL. And so one day, if A1 was unilateral, then I'll have this one be bilateral. If A1 was bilateral, then this one's gonna be unilateral. I may have said that backwards, but you get what I'm saying. One's bilateral, one's unilateral. And so meaning that they're either on 1 foot or they're on 2 feet. 1 foot is important because we're building that pelvic stability with legs going 2 different directions. 2 feet is important because they're driving force into the ground, building strength. So B1 is always lower extremity pull, and so it's either gonna be hinge or RDL for me, whether it's bilateral or unilateral. B2 is always gonna be upper extremity push. So this is your single arm bench, your overhead press, anything pressing with the upper body. I like to counteract, so if one was pull, the next one's gonna be push. And then B3 is spinal integrity. So this is typically where they could be supine, like a dead bug, laying on their back. I'll also use plank, side plank, Palloff press, lifts, chops with the cables, anything building their core strength without rotating, twisting, or crunching the spine. So anything to build that higher spinal integrity. So these are the 5 basic movement patterns. This is how I break it down very simply. If you want to learn more, subscribe to my channel. This is one of my first videos, but I have a lot more coming and so much information to share. So thanks for your subscription. Thanks for your likes. I'll see you guys on the next one.